All right, so hopefully you're back and kind of figured out what you want to do with this. I'm going to draw another picture of a cylinder here. Okay, so remember, what do we know about this? We know that this length is 40 inches, right? And we know that this right here on our cylinder is the whole amount is 52 inches, right? You will need to know the area of a circle. If we were in class, we would do a really cool experiment with pi, but we are not, so unfortunately. But if I look it up, it's really easy. It's area equals pi r squared. Okay, pi is a button you can use on your calculator. If you don't know, if you don't have a calculator, pi equals 3.14. Just use that as a reference. Okay, so if I want to find, again, I want to find the surface area of everything. So on this side, it's really easy because I'm just going to go 40 times 52. Okay, because this whole area around here is going to be, this is going to be 52, and then we're going to multiply it by 50, or by 40. Then I need to find the area of these guys, okay? So I'm going to have a bottom and a top base of a 52 of this surface area of the circle. So the area of this then would be area equals pi. What's my radius? Oh my gosh, you guys, this is the radius. How am I going to find the radius if I only know this part? This is the circumference. Okay, so hopefully we kind of remember some of these words. Circumference is the measurement around, which is what you have. You have 52 inches. The radius is just halfway through the circle. Diameter is when you have all the way through. Okay, so now I gotta look something else up. I gotta figure out how to find the radius of a circle, because I need to know the radius. What is the radius of a circle if I know the circumference? So I'm actually going to pause here and I'm going to Google that. How do I find the radius if I know the circumference? Okay, I'm pausing now. All right, so look at how cool this is. I just Googled, how do I find the radius of a circle using the circumference? And look, radius equals circumference divided by 2 pi. So it gives me a formula, super easy peasy. This is all stuff actually we would have proven if we were in class, but we didn't. We are not in class, so unfortunately. So I'm going to use that as a reference. I'm going to make sure here you can see everything. Okay, so I'm going to get another sticky here because I'm running out of space. Okay, so I have radius equals circumference divided by 2 pi. Okay, so my radius then is, my circumference is 52, and I'm going to divide that by 2 pi, and I'm going to literally put that in the calculator. And I'm back. Okay, so I'm going to do this a little different. So I'm gonna, let me clear this first. Here's my calculator. And I'm gonna multiply, I'm gonna use my formula here. And I'm gonna multiply 2 times pi first. In fact, this is wrong, so I'm gonna redo this. So I'm gonna multiply 2 times pi. So 2 times pi equals, and let's just go with 6.28. I'm just going to write that down, and I'm going to clear this. I'm going to go with my formula. So now I just figured out, oh, if you can see this, 52. I'm now going to divide 52 by 6.28. Okay, using my calculator. So 52 divided by 6.28 equals 8.280. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to set this down. And radius equals 8.28. And that's inches squared because we're looking at the surface area of that. There, that's better. We're looking at the surface area of that circle. However, the radius, we're not doing, the radius will be just inches. I apologize. Okay, so now we know the radius. Now we have to find the area. Okay, so I know this problem goes on forever, but I absolutely love it. Okay, so now let's get back to our area. Now that we have the radius, we can figure out what the area of that circle is. So pi times 8.28 squared will give us the area of our circle. So I'm going to multiply
8.28 times itself. Oops. 8.28. And that gives me
68.5. I'm going to round that up to 6. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply that times pi. And I get area equals 215.38 inches squared. So this area right here, that is the area of just my circle on the outside. Okay, so this circle area equals 215.38 inches squared. Okay, now is all I have to do. Since I know this, I have to multiply that by 2 so that I can get both ends. And then I'm going to multiply 40 times 52. So I'm going to multiply 40 times 52 real quick. Okay, so this is 2080. We got that actually before, inches squared. And then 215.38 times 2 equals 430.76. Okay, so I'm going to redraw this so it's not so confusing for everyone. So it's what we just did. Here's my cylinder, right? What we just found was the area of this part, and that was 215.38, but I had to do it on both ends. So the total was 430.76 inches squared. Then I had to find the area of this space, which we took by multiplying 40 times 52, and that is 2080 inches squared. So in order to figure out how much fabric it's going to take to make this whole bag, I'm going to go 2080 plus 430.76. 9, 10, 11, 5. So we should have 2,510 square inches, pretty much 2,500, and you would want to round that up to 11. And just being a seamstress myself, you would want to actually add a little bit more in there, but just to cover your loose fabric. All right, so that's how much fabric it takes. Now, what's interesting about this is now we can compare. I'm going to take all these off. Now I can compare the areas of each one. So this was the area of the prism, right? That one. So this one's going to take 2,418 square inches of fabric, and this one's going to take 2,510. So looking at it from a perspective of how much fabric it's going to cost me to make this, it's going to cost more to make the cylindrical one, okay? Because it's just going to take more fabric. You know, it's not that much more, but it, you know, when you do like thousands and thousands of them, then it all adds up. All right, so now you're going to want to pause the video, maybe take a little bit of a break, and come back because we're going to figure out the volume next of the cylinder. We're not done yet.